The Observer. Climbing out of the rabbit hole. Greetings from home, dear ones. I am Observer, and I greet you with pure love from home. We join you now in a moment that is far more significant than most humans realize, not because the world is ending, but because an old world is ending. You are living through the shift of an age, the turning of a great wheel. We wish to share with you a view of humanity that you may find both sobering and incredibly encouraging. Humanity is at a critical point in evolution. The possibilities directly ahead will determine the future path forward for many years to come. Yet we remind you that the future is not a single road. It is a field of probabilities that respond to consciousness. And consciousness, dear ones, is what you are. Separation and the great illusion. As we have often shared, humanity has clearly been divided. We see this as the main stumbling block toward moving into fifth-dimensional living. Although separation is not your true nature, it has become your habit. Separation has been reinforced, rewarded, and repeated until many believe it is the truth. Why? Because for most humans, the more they hear something, the more likely they are to believe it. In this way, humans can be easily separated. Whatever side you may think you are on, if you are on a side, then you have been separated. Some of this is unintentional, while other aspects are completely intentional. Remember, dear ones, you can only be controlled when you are separated. Sadly, those who wish to control humans have been largely successful. It isn't because humans are weak, but rather that you are more empathetic than ever before. As responsive beings, you feel the energy of fear and instinctively try to protect what you love. That is not wrong, of course, but fear is a poor navigator. And in recent years, fear has been placed in the driver's seat far too often. Inherently wired for good. Together, humans have a natural direction toward the highest good in all situations. You see it exhibited when a runner falls during a race and a competitor stops to help them up. Or when two young children are playing and one begins to cry, without hesitation the other moves closer and wants to help. So how did this separation take hold? It happened when humans began to believe that safety comes from being right, rather than being connected to one another. It took hold when one's identity became a fortress instead of a bridge, and when I disagree with you quietly turned into, you are dangerous to me. We ask you to observe this not with judgment, but with compassion. Judgment is simply another form of separation, the amplifier in your pocket. Social media has accelerated both the awakening and division of humans. Although these platforms are not inherently evil, they are significant amplifiers. Social media algorithms amplify those messages that provoke your emotions, those topics that grab and keep your attention. Yes, that's the new business model. From the perspective of those who build these systems, the explanation is simply, we don't want to show you things that don't interest you. Although that sounds harmless or even helpful, the effect has been that many people now live inside a curated mirror. It reflects their beliefs back to them over and over again, until that mirror feels like reality. But as you enter into what you call rabbit holes, you are not shown the broad landscape of life. Instead, you see only a continually narrowing corridor of content that validates your preferences, energizes your biases, and strengthens your certainty. And when certainty becomes addictive, curiosity withers. When curiosity withers, empathy fades away and separation happens. Social media is not merely about information, but about the reaction of your nervous system. It is about promoting fear and a sense of belonging. We tell you this not to frighten you, dear ones, but to free you. Because once you see the intent behind the algorithms, they no longer carry the same weight. Your power returns through choice. What is the remedy? It is not to fight the machine with more anger, nor to shame yourself or others. Quite simply, the remedy is to reclaim your personal power through your own choices. Making choices out of fear or anger allows others to take your power from you. You reclaim choice when you pause before reacting. Act instead of react. You reclaim choice when you ask, is this true or is it simply familiar? You reclaim choice when during a conversation you step outside of your own beliefs and simply listen. You reclaim choice when you seek to understand someone not as an opponent, but as a soul with a history different than your own. We know many of you feel exhausted by these energies, Some of you feel as if the light you've carried so easily before has now become heavier. We tell you the heaviness is not proof you are failing, it is proof you are lifting something real. You are lifting an old density that cannot travel where humanity is going. The shift into a higher harmony. There is wonderful potential for a reset of the entire system, now as humanity steps further into the fifth dimension frequencies. In practical terms, this does not mean an escape from the physical world. Instead, it is the integration of the heart with the mind. It is living from resonance rather than reflex. We often speak of balancing between the heart and the head. When one reacts out of fear, it is mostly a reaction of the heart. If one reacts out of a belief or information, be it real or false, then they are reacting from the head. The idea is to balance both, which is the key to manifestation. In higher harmony, you do not need the other person to be wrong in order for you to feel safe. You do not need to win to be whole, which many of you are already discovering. You are learning discernment, and in particular, heart discernment. You are learning how to sense when something is being used to hook you into an emotional reaction such as outrage or despair. Often the reaction shows up as simply us versus them. As you learn heart discernment, you become less predictable to those who wish to manipulate you. This is one of the greatest victories of light, becoming unhookable. A simple practice for heart discernment. We offer you a simple practice, use it often. Stop and place one hand on your heart, then imagine your heartbeat slowing it a bit. Breathe slowly and feel your body relax. Ask, what is the most loving and true thing I can do next? Feel what your heart is aligned to. Then ask if the brain has figured it out, and take a small, kind, and grounded step forward. This practice will not make you passive, it will make you powerful. Remember, power without heart becomes control. But power with heart becomes creation. A message of hope. Do not mistake the noise for the truth. The loudest voices and the most extreme opinions are not always the most common ones. There are millions of people awakening to compassion, discernment, and cooperation. You are not alone, dear ones. When you choose to listen instead of label, you mend the fracture. When you choose to hold kindness in disagreement, you become the bridge. When you choose to see the human being behind the opinion, you change the timeline. The future does not require perfection, but it requires participation. So we ask you now to be gentle with yourselves. Be fierce with your love and be devoted to what unites. Your heart is not naive. Your heart is ancient intelligence, so tap into it. We watch with gratitude as you step forward. Treat each other with respect, nurture one another, and play well together. I am observer, and I like to watch. Espavo.